Hi, this is Kagi, and welcome to, I guess this would be a .5 episode because I was asked to talk about the wheels that I have, and so I brought my wheels out and I'll discuss them. Some of them still have fiber on them. I need to get them cleaned off before I start the fiber study that I talked about. I think it was 2 weeks ago that I posted the live on that. I'm not doing this live, I'm just recording, and I will post. It's easier that way. And I'm seeing a glare. I don't need to see me, you need to see me. So the first wheel that I got for spinning is my Pinkie. And yes, it's made out of PVC pipe. It is industrial strength furniture grade PVC pipe, and it is a child's wheelchair wheel that is completely balanced. It is a single treadle. This comes from Babe Fiber Garden. It is an Irish tension, which means that it is bobbin driven and the tension is straight on the flyer. For the brake, it's a leather strap. My piece of tie down here has broken off. I need to get a new one. My daughter-in-law's had her her name's Pinkie Tuscadero. Sarge bought me this for Christmas one year. It was already used. We picked it up for I think $120. It came actually on Christmas Day. That was the first year I knew that they delivered mail on Christmas Day. I didn't know that was a thing. But I probably have, I think it comes with 3 bobbins, and I picked up 10 more because these are only 2-ounce bobbins. And you can get a bulky flyer, you can get other things from Babe. They have production wheels, they have, all of them are PVC, white or black. But this one I got in 2008. And it wasn't my first foray into spinning. I'd done drop spindle, and at that point in time, drop spindle was more of the drop than the spin, and I hadn't gotten down the drafting. And it took this, and the way I look at it when I teach people to spin, if they can spin on this, they can spin on just about anything. It is certainly a learning curve. Being a single treadle, you have to know where, no kitty. You have to know where your stop points are on your wheel, which is normally at the 6 and the 12. And you have to rock your foot when you're treadling it, being that it's a single treadle. And so I learned to rock. So it's a toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Where if you have a double treadle, you can go flat-footed. And this is what I learned on. So that is my Pinkie. She weighs 4 pounds. She's called a Pinkie because you can literally pick her up by your pinky. And she needs a good cleaning. I am going to do a show on cleaning the wheel. I have all of the stuff. This one's been sitting at the top of a bookcase in there, and she's quite dusty. So yeah, right now my daughter-in-law was working on some merino. I brought it back. It's been sitting in there about a month. I need to give her back so that she can continue to work on her merino, and she enjoys spinning on it right now. The next wheel that I got was a ladybug, and that was Rue. And Rue, I got all the whirls, all the fancy. I got the big bobbin, or the bulky flyer, the little flyer, the woolly winder, everything. And I wound up having to sell her, want to say it was like 2014. But that's okay, life happens. And now I have Rue 2. But that wasn't my next wheel, and I'll talk about Rue 2 later. The next wheel that I got was the Hanson mini spinner. And this one, the people at Knittin' in the Mitten went together and bought me this as a hostess gift. I think that was in 2012. And I knew at that time that, Cupid's getting into my wheels, that I would be looking at knee surgeries. And I would not be able to treadle. And I wound up having to have 3 surgeries on my leg in order to get me back walking and being able to move in a fashion that I could treadle. And this wheel did a lot of spinning for me during that time. It does have the Woolly Winder. This is the volume 1. I did have Tim from Hornshaw Woodworks put on feet for me. I didn't care for the feet that came with it. They kept falling off. These are screwed in. I've never had a problem with my motor. I do keep the tension off when it's not needed. It has both the foot pedal and the plug-in. I also have a battery pack for it that I can charge so I can take it where it's not needed. I have some Anchorworks bobbins for it. I have 3 of the Woolly Winder bobbins for it. I have the repair kit, everything that's necessary to go with it. And then I have, and I'll show those on a different episode, I have all the little swifts that work for bringing yarn off and the nitty naughties. So this one, I don't have anything on it at this point in time. I went ahead and finished off the bobbin for this. And yeah, so this is the Hanson e-spinner version 1. And I do quite enjoy spinning on it. Set it on the couch, put my feet up, and just spin while I'm watching a movie. I don't have to think about anything. So that is wheel number 2. Or 3 if you're really counting. I then saw a Kickstarter. The cats are into all sorts of things. I'm sorry if you're hearing that in the background. They're cats. I got this, which is the EEW Mini. And hopefully that's in the right direction this time. I don't know. Right now I just have some merino on it. But it came with 3 of the wooden bobbins. I believe this is out of a put together, I don't know, it's cast somehow. It's cut, die cut. And I believe now that they are doing 3D printed ones by the same company. It came with 3 bobbins. And Lori, one year, picked me up 3 printed bobbins. It comes with an extra drive band and a spin card that tells you the gauge of your spinning. And S-twist, Z-twist, and all that. And it also comes with, I think it came with the little crochet hook as the orifice hook. Has the plug-in. It can't use the battery pack like the other, but it's little. Now, one of the problems with this is how light it is. And when you're spinning, it will sit there and jump. So when I was working, I used to bring this in on days that I knew I would be very, very slow in the office. And it would sit on my desk, and of course it was a conversation piece. And then I think the last month I was working, that's what I spun up. But one of the guys at work picked me up a piece of solid steel. And what I do is I take this rubber band and I place, he made it specific for this wheel, And this sat on my desk at work. And here's your little knob for speed. And the little motor's in there. And I mean, you can't get, I want to say I spun for like 20 minutes on it at a time. I didn't go super heavy. But that is how I would spin with this. I had to have it anchored, but that little rubber band trick with this little piece of metal worked wonderful. Sat on my desk, and that's how I spun on it. I have not touched this for spinning since February. So that's wheel 3. And then you can see my larger wheels. I have Flo the Frickie, and I use a king size pillowcase to cover my wheels so that the cats do not eat my drive bands, because I have had to replace many silicone drive bands. And yes, I know how to sew on a butcher's cord twine drive band, but I prefer the silicone. So I pull this off. This right now, this is the Frickie. It is a PVC wheel and plywood. It's done, this is a single treadle, so again you have the rocking foot because you have the stops at 6 and 12. It is Scotch tension, so it's not the Irish tension like the other. The others are both Scotch tension because it has a break. You really can't say, you know, which they are because it depends on your amount of strength, but I consider both of the e-spinners Scotch tension. So the thing about the Frickie wheel, let's see if I can show it, is right here is where your whorls are. And so I normally have it on one of the low ones when I'm just resting this, so there's not tension on the drive band. When I am spinning, this is the position it's normally in, which is the second one down, but this has all of its whorls already attached. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different whorls. So 5 different ratios. So you have a ratio of how many times this wheel, the big wheel, spins compared to how many times this wheel goes around. And so you're gonna see your bobbin goes around. You're gonna see different ratios, and it's really weird when you think about it. You would think the more equal the rotation, the better, but it's actually the faster the bobbin and the slower the big one, the thinner your yarn's going to be. And it's all, I'll get into that more at a different time. I'm just talking about the wheels right now. But this Frickie wheel, let's see, price-wise, the Pinkie was about $120. I think it's $160 now online. This little one, when I bought it, the EEW, was $80. And so the Hanson, I'm not even sure if you can get the version 1 anymore. At the time that I got it, it was, I want to say online, now I don't know what they paid for it because of the additional things. They got me extra bobbins and things, but I think it was around $1,100 for that. This one is about, I want to say about $350. This is not the folding, and it is the single treadle, and it comes from Frickie Enterprises, which is FRICKE-fiber-tools.com. And they do have a double treadle, and they have a folding wheel. They also have an e-spinner by Frickie. And then, of course, I've talked about Rue 2 recently. Right now I have the pink fiber on her. I have not finished spinning that. This is bobbin number 3, I believe. And so she is a double treadle, and this is by Shot. And I think it's shotlooms.com. I don't know. She is Ladybug, dated 8/5 of 20, 6010. I believe it's that for the year, but I'm not sure. She has a plastic wheel, plywood built. I believe it's out of maple. The thing I like about the difference in a double treadle, it has 2 footmen. Some of the double treadles have a lead foot and a non-lead foot. Shot does not have a lead foot. Things to talk about. This has a round orifice, so you can spin from the sides, you can spin from straight on, above. You don't have to be a direct fit. The Frickie, on the other hand, has a delta orifice, and it is that triangle, and it is best to be just a little bit offset but not far offset to be able to get that on, or it's going to bounce and talk to you and chatter. That's why her name is Flo. If you remember Alice, the old show with the diner, and Flo was the chatty one, yeah, her name's Flo. She's a very chatty wheel. I have a bunch of spindles that I also spin on. I do top whirl, bottom whirl, Turkish. The only one I don't have that I want is the Navajo. And I don't have a kick anymore. I used to have a kick spindle. But yeah, all of these at this time, this is what I spin with. Lately, I haven't had the mojo to spin. Been more into a sock knitting mojo. But my default spin is a DK weight, heavy fingering to DK, so sport to DK. Yeah, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Most of the spinning that I'm going to be doing for the breed study will probably be done on Rue, because I do have a huge bag of fleece from this alpaca that I have on the Frickie right now. And though I can get a very consistent spin on this, it's a little bit noisy to be recording over. So it's not nearly as noisy as most e-spinners. It's not even as noisy as this little one. But it's not something I want to talk over if I decide to spin during when I'm talking about the spinning. But the spinning will be done on separate casts than what my normal high fiber diet podcast is, because that's about knitting and crochet and things like that. So I'll be doing these short little ones for spinning instead of putting it all on one cast. So if you have any questions, leave them in the down bar. Please check like and subscribe. And I think the next one I will be doing before I even get into the breed study will be how to clean the wheels, because all of my wheels need to be treated for fall and winter months. So deep cleaning, oilings, things like that, because the house gets very dry during the winter here. So check your checkbook before starting the high fiber diet. Bye-bye.